Hello, it is February 2024. I will probably release this video in April of 2024 in recognition of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And the reason I have this in front of me is I actually got this off eBay. It is a toy from KB Toys, and it is just the coolest Eagle action figure. It's actually way cooler than I remember and way bigger than I remember. But this was the last gift, the last toy I received from my mom before I was visiting my cousins and my uncles in Carrizo Springs, Texas. I was in second and third grade at the time. Second and or third grade at the time. It's kind of hard to remember. But this was the last gift that I was given, and this was the only toy I took with me at the time, the summer that I was abused. As the April month implies, that I was abused by my cousins, Donnie and Xavier Washington. Essentially, the reason I'm making this video, one, because it was on my heart and my mind to do so, and two, I couldn't get this toy out of my brain for 2+ decades. So in a way, this is a catharsis, because I was a child when I was abused, and now I'm 30, and outside of, and this is probably part of the trauma. I'm not a trauma expert. This could have been a loss of innocence thing. This could have been a connection to my mother and therefore safety thing. It could have just been like, hey, I left my favorite toy at a place, at an environment where I was being abused. And getting this finally, remembering, like I Googled Eagle action figure, and getting this and finally having it and finding it and getting it off eBay and now having it in my possession as an adult is so cathartic. It feels like a weight is lifted. And then it reminds me that now I'm 30. I'm a good, solid, even number into adulthood. I'm making great transitions, such as getting married to an amazing and powerful woman who I absolutely love and adore. And I'm making all these other transitions, which, post-wedding might mean building a family. So that is to say is that I'm in a time of transition at a very pivotal moment in my life. And I made a YouTube video detailing everything about that summer. And I'm not a public figure, so that didn't go anywhere. And this video probably won't go anywhere because, again, I'm not a public figure. This will also probably flop. But this is, I guess, a way for me to share my catharsis, to also name Donnie and Xavier Washington abused me. So just to name that. And then also, as someone who people trust in confiding to and who feel a sense of safety in me, who have shared with me their trauma. And even though, because trauma is so personal, I can never truly understand their traumatic experience and what they've gone through. In a way, this video is also in solidarity of them, because I've also had people tell me, oh, well, your cousins basically got away with it because I'm 30 and I'm telling my psychiatrist and therapist, now as an adult, what had happened to me. And my psychiatrist said, oh, well, they got away with it. Well, now I'm telling the world, so I guess they didn't. And then I've also had people say, Eric, you've never gone through anything terrible. You've never gone through anything traumatic. People who go through traumatic things are so powerful. Well, I don't know if I'm powerful, but well, we shouldn't assume who has and who hasn't gone through traumatic things, should we? So there's a little bit of that for sure. But also, again, going back to people who have shared with me their traumas and their traumatic experiences, this is a show of solidarity with them, because I don't want them to think that they were telling someone who they've trusted and who they can confide in, but just couldn't really align or understand, or maybe they felt as if their concerns were falling on ears that were not quite listening, or a heart who could quite not understand. And again, even though on a micro level, all of our traumas are so personal in regards to the environment, what exactly happened, how it exactly happened, when it exactly happened, all those things, that maybe I can fully understand that, the context of which it happened, maybe I couldn't fully understand that. But this is just to say, I want this to be a video of solidarity. I want this to be a video of understanding. If you are also a survivor, especially if someone who was abused by a family member, because Donnie and Xavier Washington were only 12 and 13 at the time when I was in elementary school, second, third grade, I guess 5, 7-ish, I don't know. So to share and understand that, even though this is something that, and I'll speak for myself, that I never quite got over fully, there were at 30, between then and now at 30, there are still sleepless nights. There are still random flashbacks. There are still random moments where I am cringing over it, where I am judging myself over it, where I'm thinking about what I could have, should have, would have done. There are still moments at 30 where I feel like my family will judge me, my friends will judge me, or I'll speak for myself, that I start thinking, like, who is going to judge me? Who's going to say that I should have done X, Y, or this, because, even though I was a child, because I'm a boy, because I'm a man, and you're going to let someone do that to you, as if children ever really let anything let people do anything to them, because they're children, people. They're children. Anyways, because this video is probably going to be released in April, even though it's on my heart in February, I just want to share this show of solidarity, the show of support, is that although trauma happens, it does not define us. And even though it lingers, I'll speak for myself, even though it's always lingered, even though it's always been in the back of my mind, I've never felt that it defined me. I never felt that it was the end of my story. I never felt that it was the end of any relationship I could ever have, any trust I could ever have. But that is to say, is that I just want people to understand that if people are coming out about their abuse as an adult, whether they are, is that these are just things we can't escape. And that's not coming from a nihilistic or pessimistic view, but that's coming from an understanding of that trauma kind of just stays. And we work through our trauma. And we recognize our trauma. And we sit in our trauma. And I'm thankful to have a therapist and other professionals who I'm able to talk to about this. But I'm also able to talk about other things as well, because this is not a moment where I became stagnant. And that's not to say that if that has happened to other people, that they are somehow not processing, or they're not progressing in their life, or they're not making changes, or they're not going to make transitional life moments. But that is to say is that everyone's journey and battle is vastly different. And I just want, just as the people who've confided in me, I want whomever out there to know. I just want you to know that your moment of catharsis, like I have found here, will come, is coming. And to keep progressing, keep letting it be known, keep speaking about it, keep speaking on it. Of course, in a way that is healthy to you and that is recommended by a mental health professional. But something that I found that is really freeing about videos like this, my YouTube video that I posted a while back, and now this, is that it's not about a comeuppance for me. For me, it's not about a comeuppance. For me, it's not about revenge. For me, it's not about naming and shaming. For me, it's about a release. It's about catharsis. It's about having a piece of me be shared and a piece of me be free. It's about having a traumatic experience be known beyond the walls of my psychiatrist and beyond the walls of my therapist. Ultimately, it's about freedom. It's about being free of the ghosts of the past. I just want to encourage you that you're not alone. And for anyone who's ever confided in me, anyone who's ever trusted me, but maybe really felt like I just couldn't quite align, maybe I'm more aligned than we think. And I honor and I thank you for your trust in me. And I hope that this video and my vulnerability in this moment maybe brings a little more, not only trust in me, but brings a little more rest that maybe you told a person that can understand or who could resonate with you a little bit. So I hope this video helps strangers and friends. All right, well, I'm gonna end it right here. Thank y'all, bye.